All right, so we are live. Welcome back, everyone, all you loyal listeners. Season 2, Episode 8.3 podcast. It is Wednesday, June 12th, and we're thrilled to have you join us once again. This is a special episode. It's jam-packed, tons of news, tons of rumors, tons of spoilers. It is hot and heavy for the MCU. However, this is the last live stream before the Point 3 podcast gets together in person in Charlotte. Monumental day, everyone. We're finally going to see each other in person. It's hype. Hours away from it. How you guys feeling?
Words can't even describe it. I think I'm beyond excited. Super ready. Heroes Con is going to be a lot of fun. One of the from what I've understood from it or looked up, one of the bigger cons on the East Coast. And it gets bigger and bigger every year. So I'm curious to see how it is this year. But obviously meeting you guys in person, first time, we're going to have a good time. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Big time. Spider Bizzle?
I can't wait. I have, I guess, a special shirt. It's ready to go for it.
Yep.
That all
Some
three of
Point3
us
merch,
will
baby.
officially be having our own merch with potentially more to come for the future. Wink, wink.
Yes. Stay tuned. And listen, for those who are curious about the wink winks, best way to get ahead of it, join our Discord. Those in Discord hear it, see it, know it first. Love to have everyone join Discord for conversations because we are getting closer and closer and closer to what is shaping up to be one of the bigger MCU movies potentially of all time. But before we jump into everything, stay tuned for our deep dive at the end because we have some really, really good points. So we're going to be talking about people around the superhero community that are in the industry, that are doing it, are throwing out some comments that are a little contradictory to kind of what general consensus is right now surrounding the genre. So definitely let us know if you're loving the conversation. Subscribe, comment, join the conversation. We want to enhance your experience. You enhance ours. But without further ado, let's get into rapid fire news. First thing we have, we're going to talk about it. We're going to start on a lower note. The passing of comic historian. News came out that there was an unfortunate accident. We'll leave it at that. We don't know what we don't want to speak on. However, what we did want to at least highlight is, for a lot of you listening, you know who that is, right? At some point, you may have watched YouTube or listened to some videos. So guys, what do you kind of remember? Like, what influence did comic historian have kind of on your superhero fandom, your journey, kind of how you view things and how you learned?
I will say, going into Across the Spider-Verse last year and The Flash and June Geddon, I was hooked on a lot of his Flash comic Rebirth videos. Was it Rebirth? Did I say that? Is that the right one? No, Flashpoint. And the Spider-Verse Spider-Geddon stories. And those helped me tremendously to prepare because I still got to read this bad boy for myself. And I remember his Ultimate Spider-Man from origin to death was one of the most influential videos I had to get me into comics in general. I picked up Marvel Unlimited right after I watched that video to want to read the story for myself. And that kind of started my little comic collection and getting into comics again. So RIP to a great member of the YouTube comic pop culture community.
Yeah. He had just a gift for being able to relay these stories in a way that was easily consumable and entertaining for people. Right. And I know for myself personally, especially he's been around for so long. So I know I was listening to his videos way before I started reading more comics. But if I just wanted to learn a story or two, he would be one of the ones that I would I'd watch. But once I started collecting more seriously and trying to see what runs I wanted to get into, what stories I wanted to decide if I wanted to collect or read, um, his channel was a guide in a way to learn about it. I know we were talking about it on between ourselves, but Immortal Hulk, one of my favorite runs ever, I got into it because of his videos. Right, I watched the first part of his videos, and then when I wanted a quick refresh after reading the entire run, I'd put his stuff on his videos on it, and things like that. He was just incredibly influential. And not only that, when I was dating my wife, because we were a longer distance, the drives home would be Comic Storian, playing that late at night to keep me up and learning, consuming all these things. So it's a very big loss to the comic community, because I don't think anyone will ever do it in the same way.
Yeah. I echo all that. Really, it's education, right? And that's kind of one of the big things that we all seek. And to have someone who can add their own flair and style to it, but you feel the passion for the comic as if you're reading along with them.
Yeah.
That kind of goes back to like your youth in a lot of ways. And it takes a lot for people. Like, we do this stuff on YouTube all the time, and there's still a level of like insecurities that come with it, a level of like, what are people going to think? There's all of those things are just human emotions that are natural. And it just felt like Comic Storian, when he was doing his thing on there, like, he was the only one in the room, but he was speaking to everyone at the same time. And it was just really cool to listen to. And shout out to the Immortal Hulk story, because it's something I watched and listened to over and over again. Definitely a loss, definitely a miss. So with that all being said, though, let's get into some other news and pick it up a little bit. The Boys, it's confirmed by showrunner Eric Kripke to end with season 5. Man, when I saw you guys posted this, and I just ate my words hardcore after what we talked about 48 hours ago.
Yeah. For a little behind the scenes of everybody that just wants to know, we were talking about it on Monday. Actually, we were like, hey, on what was supposed to be today's actual deep dive, originally was going to be, when does The Boys need to end? Because a lot of people have been coming up, and a lot of articles started gaining traction about, how long can The Boys go? It's because it seems like it could go forever. It seems like it could go this long, some people were saying. And then literally a day later, not even 24 hours later, because I think this came out like mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
We got confirmed. Yeah, it's going to end with season 5, and this was always the plan, according to the showrunner.
Yeah, wild. Spider-Man, were you surprised on this?
Yes, because of Eric Kripke put us on a roller coaster of emotions, of saying what he said about how it's going to go on forever, and then boom, psych. There is other news, though, that the world of The Boys could still continue, but it's more so the story of Homelander and Butcher is what we'll be concluding in season 5. So could still get other spin-offs like Gen V, and I'm honestly all for exploring that Boys world. And it might don't want it to get too like MCU-ified, where it just gets too massive and oversaturated at times, but I think they could cook. There's still a lot in that world that we haven't seen. Like, would Gen V open up one spin-off series, open up a whole lot of fresh takes and stuff.
Yeah. And interestingly enough, The Boys season 4 is out. Initial series is sitting at an 80% Rotten Tomatoes score, so a little bit lower. But I think this season coupled with next season will give it a nice boost, and I think it'll end on a higher note than maybe some people expected, like myself, just a couple days ago. So it's always nice to know things are finite. And those two characters, Spider-Man that you had mentioned, Homelander and Butcher, they're central to what made The Boys what it is today. So stay tuned for the deep dive, though. More to come on that. Hero, do you want to hit us with some DC news?
Absolutely. So our other good friend of the show, James Gunn, he doesn't know that either, but he is.
You will.
He's directing 3 episodes from Peacemaker season 2. So a nice little update on that series. Spider Brando, your thoughts on this news?
I'm excited because I like James Gunn as a director. Obviously, super excited for Superman. Loved all Guardians movies. I still haven't watched Peacemaker season 1 though, so I'm taking the L there, and I've heard it's great, so I'm sure he'll do. He directed all of season 1, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe so.
so I'm sure he'll be able to craft it and merge it his own ways into the DCUify it, and it'll be a good season.
One big thing that when I read this and I made note of is just it feels special that James Gunn is now directing a few episodes in a series. Like it feels like he's kind of transcended the old James Gunn, where it's just like the series is yours. Like, why wouldn't you be on everything? It's just like, isn't that his series? And it's like, whoa. Like, my guy's taking some time out of his day to direct some 3 episodes. I know some people don't like that, but it is kind of cool since he is hopefully running the show and creating that rising tide to lift all boats.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. Peacemaker is basically his baby, his most successful baby over in DCU, or in the DC category.
Ooh,
So much
Suicide
so
Squad
that
or Peacemaker?
Peacemaker.
What do you prefer? No, what do you prefer?
Oh, Peacemaker.
Ooh.
That's just me personally, but I mean, if you think about it from a casual audience perspective, I mean, last year with all the Dawn of DC books, Peacemaker was literally in all. Like, I don't think there was a book. There was a couple, obviously, but majority had at least some cameo of Peacemaker, which is crazy. So much so that he's in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mainstream stuff. Like, Peacemaker is now kind of a home, a common name.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. A character, I want to say what D tier character that nobody really cared about into a solid B plus character.
I'm excited to see what they do next with Peacemaker.
Well, we know where he's gonna be, and he's gonna be in another world because Suicide Squad Isekai, the anime, is premiering this month, June 27th on Max. Yes. I'm excited for it. They got Dio Brando voicing him. I think it's gonna be good.
I think Spider Brando, we made a little Discord comment of Harley Quinn. This is going to be Harley Quinn's going to have 4 appearances this year. Suicide Squad Isekai is going to be one of those. Interesting. Is 4 Harleys too many Harleys?
Never too many Harleys.
Shout out to all my motorcycle friends out there. Exactly. But no, this should be good. I'm actually really excited for this. I'm hoping that it's a step up from it should be a step up from My Adventure with Superman, and I think just kind of like really sits in that anime world where My Adventure was obviously inspired by anime in certain ways, but from a DC perspective, I think DC and anime just are meant to be.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that they're really getting these serious voice actors, that are known in like the anime community to voice these characters, I think it shows that they mean business with this show.
Could this Studios to animate it also?
Who did?
Wit Studios.
Yeah,
huge studio.
A quick question for you guys on this, because I was thinking of it because I have to compare everything. The way that X-Men 97 got on the radar of anime fans, do you think that this, even though it has isekai in the name, do you think anime fans may reject this or accept this?
I was going to say, I think they'll be closer to accepting it from what I've seen on social media posts, like the people who didn't know this was a thing and have seen like the preview posts, and I think they did this was I think last week they did it like a little mini trailer on Peacemaker alone, and people were excited. They were like, "Oh wow, like he looks cool." You know, they got again, like I mentioned, Dio Brando's voice actor to voice him. People look really invested into it because they see that they're actually trying with this. You know, I think X-Men 97 just not happened by chance, but it had a lot more going for it because it is X-Men. It was the continuation of the 90s series. You know, it's a little different in that aspect, but this is like a brand new thing that clearly is a love letter to anime with DC characters.
I like that. I like it. Do you want to burn through these next couple DCU news pieces? Because we got a heck of a lot of Marvel to talk about.
Way too many. The two quick ones that kind of don't have much. The Penguin series starring Colin Farrell will release in September. Very excited for that. Stay tuned for our discussion when that eventually comes out. Some characters from Creature Commandos will appear in Superman. Which characters we don't really know, and we probably couldn't really name them either because we don't know too many Creature Commandos. So, other than Rick Flag Sr.,
dude, you know Frank Grillo is going to show up. He has to.
He has to, and it'll
his
be
first live action.
I'd be into it.
Yeah.
But the bigger one, Booster Gold has its writers. The series, they tapped Danny McBride, Jeff Fradley, and John Carcieri. How are we feeling on this Booster Gold series?
I have no idea who they are, to be honest with you. I'd have to look into it. The thing that I like that we're hearing about DC news first is, again, it's that foundational piece. Like, okay, good. We have the writers. Who are the writers? It sounds like there's going to be some comedy. Who's Booster Gold? He has some comedic elements to him. Like, it just feels right. I know a lot of people aren't into Booster Gold, and people are like, I hope Chris Pratt's not Booster Gold. I don't know, man. I think when Booster Gold comes out, I think Booster Gold could be a huge casual hit. Huge casual hit.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he'll be able to surprise a lot of people just by like his suit is really cool from every picture I've seen, and just like the way he looks, just looks like a cool character that'll like not casual pleasing, but casual pleasing character.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen, real quick, The Righteous Gemstones, an HBO comedy?
I don't think I have.
No, and I heard good things about it, but I didn't know that they're the three writers who were behind that. So I'll take comedy. That's good.
I was gonna say, I know Booster Gold is more of a comedic character, so it'll probably end up working really well. And that's the thing. DC has a lot of characters that have that casual ease.
Appeal.
Appeal.
Yeah.
Is the better word. That casual appeal, just people don't know about them. And I think, Peacemaker obviously has become a little different, but you look at Peacemaker, hopefully the same treatment in a way, gets with the Green Lanterns. So Booster Gold just might be another hit up there.
Dude, I'm sorry, but Lanterns, like, I can't stop thinking about it. I cannot stop thinking about Lanterns.
Same.
I need more news there.
Yeah. Well, we won't get it, but we will get a bunch of Marvel news. So
yeah, sorry, bro.
Yeah. Spy Brando, you want to take us away?
So starting off with some good old Marvel news. Marvel reportedly wants to handle Doctor Doom the same way as they did Loki and the Infinity Saga. How do you guys feel about that?
Man, I got
bad. Bad chef.
It's too late. It's too late. You can't. The way that they handled Loki in the Infinity Saga, that was literally almost a decade's worth of Loki-ness. 3 solo movies, 2 3, 4 major Avengers movies. Like, Doom should have been here. Doom should have been here for a minute. I get they want to do it, but you can't fast track that.
Yeah, but to me, when I hear this, also, right, it's not only that I don't think Loki's a villain anymore. I know he still kind of is in certain like interpretations, but I don't think he's a villain anymore.
Yeah,
he's more of an anti-hero, if not a full-blown hero at this point. So when I hear, and I know that his full hero turn happened in Loki, the series, but by Infinity War, in his death, he was a hero.
Yeah,
he gave his life in a very heroic act, and Thor Ragnarok, he was a hero. So when I hear this, it's like, are you going to anti-hero Doctor Doom? Which I don't. No, don't do it. Don't do that, Marvel. 2 thumbs down.
Here's my only way to take just 1 thumbs down. If they had Doom explore the mystical side of the MCU and be a sorcerer and be a character that heroes have no choice but to ask for help, in a very similar way that Magneto was kind of presented in 97, have that history, have that backstory, have his connection with Fantastic Four, but having him share screen with Doom, having him share screen with a Wanda or Scarlet Witch, having that Young Avengers story, it's where, like, if you deal with him, it's like dealing with the devil. And you're always going to be looking, and he's going to be like, yeah, you guys can follow me. And you're like, damn, am I walking into a trap or not? That's the kind of Doom who I'd want to see. He could feel anti-hero-ish, but at this point, I just don't see enough time being laid out to do something like that. I think it's possible, though, but I wish he had that much time.
I don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, next up, we got Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones actress, has reportedly met with Marvel Studios to bring Jessica Jones back in an upcoming project, most likely for the 2nd season of Daredevil Born Again. Are you guys upset that I guess this kind of confirms she won't be in season 1 of Born Again? We're happy with the move that will be a season 2 appearance.
Why wouldn't it be a season 1? It's my thing.
Yeah. This could be one of those that they're just pulling our leg. And maybe, news leaks are getting this just now, but this has happened before. Who knows, right? Either way, though, Daredevil is probably the best fit for Jessica Jones to come back.
Oh,
where else would she pop up that would feel like okay? You know what I mean?
I mean, I love me some Shibe season 2, baby.
True, but I mean, the chances of that happening
it's not going to happen. This is the best spot.
Yeah. I mean, like, the only other thing I could think about them doing is if they really, really went down this route. I don't think they will. If they did like an Echo season 2, that's the only other possibility I could see her joining up in. But Daredevil kind of seems like the most likely, and I think season 1 is trying to tell a certain story. So,
is it just me, or does it feel like season 1 and season 2 are more of a part 1, part 2, kind of like Loki?
Depends on the story they tell.
Yeah.
But I think it definitely has that feel because it's the whole rework that they were doing when originally it was going to be like 18 episodes and trying to cram 2 seasons worth of stuff into one long season. I think it's better that they do it this way, kind of establish more things, have more time to let little plot details digest.
It's fair. Okay. Probably spent more time on Jessica Jones than it's been spent on her in a while.
Next up, we got some Midnight Suns rumors of the potential lineup being Wong, Boyd, Moon Knight, WBN, Man-Thing, and Ghost Rider. I'm drawing such a blank at WBN. I cannot.
Werewolf by Night.
A Werewolf by Night. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I'm not on point with point 3 right now. I got the shirt on, but my head is a loopy. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That was the best thing.
It's okay. We're so excited for Heroes Con that we can't remember, some of
That's
some of
fair.
these characters.
That's fair.
I have watched Werewolf by Night though, so that is something I could say. It's not like Jessica Jones. I haven't watched, but Werewolf by Night I have watched. So
we're just trying to save space and characters out here, right?
You got 200 character limit for these banners.
What do you guys think about this? Ooh.
I was just about to ask that.
Yeah, we're on point with point 3 right now. You guys know what we're saying. Go ahead, Hero. Answer the question. You already know what we're saying.
So at first, I won't lie. There's just one name that kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, and it was Wong. I think the rest of the team is great. Great choices. But then the more I thought about Wong being in it, the more I'm okay with it and the more I like it. Because Doctor Strange, I think, is too A tier in a way for him to be in a lower, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it in that way, but a lower level team like Midnight Suns. He fits in it, but I don't think Marvel would want him to be like super associated with it. You still need that side of Marvel though. So Wong is a perfect fit. And I think what we forget is that technically in the universe, Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yep.
And I think Wong is that good B+, maybe A- character to kind of fill in your gap. Because I think when we saw him last time in a movie, even in Multiverse of Madness, I think he brought like a nice tone to it with him and his interactions with Wanda. And I think he could bring that in here with characters like Blade, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, whoever else they bring up. So I don't know. I'm actually pretty okay with Wong being in this. I like this lineup a lot, especially my boy Moon Knight. I think we're fiending for Moon Knight content.
Dude, so bad.
So like anytime I hear Moon Knight, I'm like, yes, put him in.
Give me more.
Yes. Spider Beezy?
I think it's a great MCU lineup. I was hoping to see Punisher in there, but he hasn't. This is kind of cool to see. Like, I mean, obviously, Ghost Rider is not established in the MCU at all. But it's cool to see that kind of unique mix in there. I do like the Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing additions in there because obviously you got to pay off those series. So they'll just seem like a great crew of characters to have some chemistry together that you wouldn't think to have chemistry with one another.
And that's the point that I think as we think about it more, it's like you look at who is in this. You got Wong, who's a sorcerer, who's like semi-serious in terms of personality. You have Blade, a vampire hunter, vampire himself. Then you got Moon Knight and his split personalities. You got Werewolf by Night. You got Man-Thing / Ted. And then you got Ghost Rider. Like this, the interactions and dialogue that all these characters can have with each other, the possibilities are kind of endless, especially Moon Knight and his multiple personalities, just interacting with Wong, with Blade, whoever, I think this is a really good team.
Yeah, what I like here looking at this lineup is you have potential for everyone to have their moments, right? I can see Blade and Moon Knight teaming up and fighting against something. Werewolf by Night and Man-Thing continuing that relationship, and they fight against something, and then Ghost Rider can stand alone and fight against the thing type of thing to establish him as just that alpha type of character in the MCU. And then Wong is going to hold his own and be kind of that leader. you know he's going to get roughed up, but he's going to come through clutch and get that dagger and these little demigorgon things or whatever they were called in Multiverse of Madness, and just like, how did that happen? Like, I don't know how you did that, but you did. Yeah, this is a strong team, and I think this will satisfy a lot for MCU fans that are looking for kind of like that badass type of team to kind of roll up and like, you know, take some names type of thing. So
I just thought of a great use of great use of Wong and Ghost Rider teaming up, of Wong opening up portals while Ghost Rider's just riding his bike and crushing heads.
oh, bro, that would be nuts.
That would be nuts.
That would be absolutely nuts.
And then you got a Blade Moon Knight combat team up. And then you got the Tank of Man thing in the back. Oh,
whoever is the antagonist, you're done. I'm just sorry, like you're done.
and isn't that such a good feeling to have another team besides the Avengers that you're like, because you know when the Avengers show up, you're like, all right, buddy, that's it, you're done. But like when you have this Midnight Suns lineup, this lineup looks very like, who's beating that team? You know what I mean? Like this is a super team in a way.
Yeah. A question. No, you know what? We'll save it for another video. I'm not going to say it. That's a good note. I like it.
Keeping on the Midnight Suns talk, we got Michael Green is set to write it. He's known for working on Logan, Blade Runner 2049, Smallville, and Heroes. Logan, phenomenal. No, wait, did that text cut off? Was there supposed to be something after Heroes? Oh, no.
What? No, Heroes, the NBC show.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I was like, wait a second.
I low-key liked that show, and then I didn't.
I never watched it.
It started off okay, and then it took a nosedive. Like a hard nosedive.
Yeah.
But random side note before I just want to throw this out there. We do have a Logan movie night coming up soon in our Discord, I believe June 29th. So clear your calendars for that Saturday and watch Logan with us and join our Discord.
I appreciate that movie so much.
It is June 29th. I can confirm. And then Deadpool 1 and 2 double feature, June 22nd. We got getting ready for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Delicious. Some Spidey news. Spider-Man, I'm going to throw this one over to you first. But Spider-Man 4 reportedly is going to... The story is going to have Peter, who's going to be processing the trauma of his past, suffering from PTSD. And he's going to use his vigilantism, tongue twister, as his coping mechanism. SB, is this kind of, no symbiote news, but is this what you were kind of hoping for potentially from a plot for Spider-Man 4?
Yes. I honestly was always hoping for the symbiote towards like the end of it, and him getting like, we see him go through the traumas without it, and then the symbiote attaching it to him towards the end to set us up for like Spider-Man 5 and going through how he would act after trying to grow and failing to grow. The vigilantism as his coping mechanism reminds me a lot of Matt Reeves' The Batman story. So I think they could do very well with that, given the right directors and writing. Upset about Black Cat though, because apparently she will not be in Spider-Man 4 anymore. So I was hoping that would be a really cool way to do it, but if they give us a symbiote Spidey with a Black Cat for Spider-Man 5,
bro, that movie is going to be rated.
Take money. That would be a rated R movie right there.
A hard R.
Yeah, this just sounds like a perfect setup for a symbiote, like you said. So if this is the route they're gonna go, and he becomes a little more serious as Peter Parker, while still maintaining, like trying to maintain the persona he has as Spider-Man, the joyous, quippy Spider-Man.
Mm.
It'll be interesting. I just want to know. The big thing I want to know is more so who's going to be the main villain, because I
Mm.
think there's a couple people they can kind of go down that route of like trauma and past and all that. Obviously, the big curveball that comes with it is everybody forgetting who he is. So it'll be interesting when we get like more news on that.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to throw this in here. I really hope that this is going to tie in with the news that we got previously of, Daredevil Born Again leading into this. I hope we get a lot of Daredevil in this movie. I think that would be great. Him and Fisk, that dynamic of what it means to be a hero and kind of what a vigilante is. But I'd love to see someone like a Tombstone or something like that kind of opposing him, just being kind of that Fisk-ish controlled type of character. But I would love if this was like a mini Defenders movie. Honestly, I think it'd be pretty cool to see that and kind of have those who don't know Peter kind of be like, you imagine a Luke Cage in this, just being like, yo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that, I think would be so
This be where
badass.
Jessica Jones comes in to get set up for Daredevil season 2.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah. If this is where they bring back Luke Cage and Iron Fist because he's more considered a vigilante more than anything now.
Yeah.
That could be a really nice way to introduce these characters to people again and immediately make them feel like they belong
Huge.
and they're important.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Use your stars, MCU. Don't be afraid to do it. You got to get them in front of people, and that's I think the best path in the Infinity Saga. Start in a movie, get your own show, and kind of move on from there, and go back into the movies. It's great.
It's now kind of the reverse thing that Spider-Man had in his movie, where he was teamed up with Iron Man to kind of boost his credibility.
Yeah,
and now
Yeah.
he's at a point where he's just at a different level, and now he can do that for whoever.
Yeah, I love that.
Character
Okay.
development, baby.
Yeah.
Ain't no Iron Boy freaking Junior. Dude, I would like to add one more thing. You're talking about villains earlier. I really want to see Scorpion come back as a villain, or Grego. That was potentially set up as Scorpion. Dude had a Scorpion tattoo. You know it was gonna go there. After rewatching Homecoming like 2 weekends ago and seeing that post-credit scene and knowing that movie came out in like 2017, I think it was 2017.
Yeah, 17.
Knowing that it's been 7 years, we still got no resolution on that. I feel
Yeah.
like him not knowing a Peter Parker anymore will drive his rabidness for finding out who Spider-Man is even more.
Here's the interesting thing. Rome's, what's up, man? Here's the interesting thing they could do with Matt Gargan, though. They can make him Venom. You can maybe initially he can start as Scorpion, but I feel like Scorpion's kind of that like B, C tier Spidey villain. As cool as he is, but I don't think he could carry a whole movie by himself. But if you start him off and then he gets beaten and that drives him even crazier, and then the symbiote finds him, and you have a Matt Gargan Scorpion, and that way you can still kind of do a good Venom story that has a more vengeful Venom towards him. I think it's a good way. And then you end it with the symbiote getting on him.
And that's an easy made story too. Still have Jameson, still tie in the whole private investigator type of thing. Who is under the mask? Go back to that type of story and those things. And damn. All right. You heard it here. Point 3 podcast. Giving you just gold.
Because then what you could do with that is you could really make it a way of where if Peter's trying to process his trauma and being a vigilante, you can have Jay Jonah be kind of the main, not a main antagonist, but like a someone who's spreading obviously these lies about Spider-Man, and then you have him help create Scorpion, and then if Matt Gargan becomes Venom, he still goes after J. Jonah, and then you have Spidey kind of deal with the debating, do I really need to help this guy who's made my life miserable every second he's had a chance to?
I love it. $1 billion movie right there.
And that feels right too. Saying $1 billion movie for this, I'm like, easy.
Easy.
You
know what else would be $1 million movie? If they just made a Hulk versus Red Hulk movie and they just let them duke it out for like the entire hour, 2 hours. That's it. But apparently that's going to be happening sooner rather than later, a Hulk versus Red Hulk fight of some sort. As if this is like prime Incredible Hulk movie Hulk versus a prime Red Hulk, get ready to see one of the best things you'll ever see. If this is Professor Hulk versus Red Hulk, and this is an angry Red Hulk, get ready to see just a murder on screen.
Yeah.
Of Hulk.
Yeah. Bro, that beatdown would be worse than what Thanos did to him.
Disgusting.
And I'm really, really, really hoping that they utilize the Red Hulk character properly, and just he needs to feel like the strongest character in the entire MCU. You could launch him into space, it's over. You put him against mystical, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to use Red Hulk to re-elevate your Hulk character in this movie. And if it is a World War Hulk, like Rome's saying, no holds barred, this movie needs to be brutal.
You know how I said we were fiending for more Moon Knight content? We're fiending for good Hulk content.
Oh yeah,
like
big gap in my heart.
Yeah, the MC, one of the biggest MCU's what ifs are if they got the Hulk right. Like, that'll be an episode one day that we'll talk about.
Yeah. We'll find out why they haven't someday when they come out and say it, but
I'm pretty sure it's because of the rights with Universal and all that. And but man, I feel like they could have coughed up the money for it by now. Maybe not when the MCU first started, but by now there's no reason for you not to really invest in the Hulk and make him that A+++ tier character.
But here's the thing. Just going back real quick to this though, it's just really hard to say and throw it back on like if they had the rights or not, because you go back to the first appearance of the MCU in 2008, that Hulk is the best Hulk. And then the fact that they have an opportunity to keep fixing these characters when they show up, like, is there something in Universal where they're like, you can't make a good Hulk? Like, you can make a Hulk, but you just can't make him good. Like, he can't be strong. You can't use any of his moves. He can't have any taglines. Abomination changed him. She-Hulk, I don't know what the heck Todd was. And then we're supposed to get more 08 Hulk-like characters in Cap 4. And I'm like, I got no faith that you guys are going to do this right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Hulk really was part of the big three, and I feel like he could be again if they did him right.
I have a
reboot,
take.
baby.
Oh, you stole my hot take.
Oh, sorry.
It wasn't. I mean, it's not a hot take. I guess hot theory. I was gonna say, what if they're saving, like, they're just scrapping this Hulk and saving a Wolverine and rebooted Hulk for, I guess, post Secret Wars reboot.
Is it worth it? That's very possible. But is it worth it? Like, what are you saving up for? Like, oh, look, we finally did it. Like, it feels very wrestling like, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like my favorite character is going to lose 10 out of 10 times. And then here comes a big WrestleMania moment. And I'm like, great, he won. And then he drops the next 10.
Yeah. Hulk right now feels like he has a 24/7 championship.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, Brandon, if you don't, I know you don't know what that is, but it's basically a comedy title.
Yeah.
What was it called? 24/7 championship?
Yeah, like they have to defend it 24/7.
Oh,
like that's the concept of it, and it's just for jokes. Yeah, that's what the Hulk is right now. It sucks, man, because the Hulk should be. Oh my god, just like the interactions that Hulk could have had so far. And I mean, you really think about how they could have led Cap 4 into literally everything else and into Thunderbolts, and how they can easily make a Hulk versus Sentry versus Red Hulk triple threat fight for the ages. I mean, like,
Whoa.
Marvel,
Whoa.
what are you doing, Marvel?
Whoa. Yeah, they don't
They're
want
not
the
listening
MCU to
to
be like
us.
that,
That's what they're not doing.
bro. Let's burn through these next 4 because I think we're gonna have some more commentary on a couple things coming up. X-Men are reportedly set to be properly introduced in the MCU after Secret Wars, and we're gonna get the reason explained in Deadpool and Wolverine. Are you guys buying or selling that?
Selling.
Oh,
I feel
No
like I'm
reason.
buying it. I don't see how they're going to introduce them in the MCU before Secret Wars. Like, we got like 3-4 years before that comes out. No MCU project featuring like mutants besides Kamala on the radar. So I could see it just like with the Hulk, just wait until then.
Let me put an addendum to my sell. I'm selling the second half.
I was gonna say I'll buy the first half, sale, and
Yeah.
sell the second half.
I do think it.
Trap.
Yeah, I do think it is going to happen after Secret Wars. I don't think we're getting an explanation in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I don't think so either. I don't know how they would, especially if this director is saying that you don't have to watch anything prior to watching Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know how they're gonna explain.
Unless
why
it's
they
just
got
a big joke, and like the explanation isn't going to be something serious, or it's like some like hardcore dialogue, but like it's a literal joke that Ryan Reynolds will say about the MCU and how they messed up.
I have a theory. Kevin from She-Hulk. Deadpool is somehow gonna get across to Kevin, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't write them into the story because I didn't have the rights for them." You heard it here first.
Big brain theory.
Will people be pissed?
I'd be freaking pissed. I'll tell you that right now. That would be. I love Deadpool and his fourth wall breaks and stuff like that, but that would piss me off.
We'd be as pissed as the people that want Kang in the multiverse, because apparently Marvel Studios is gonna plan on focusing on other multiversal villains before they ever even go back to Kang. Boo, his tomato. This is stupid. Let's keep going because we're not going to talk about one that I know breaks Spider-Brando's heart. It was broken, I think, Monday or later last week. I can't remember anymore. Taylor Swift will not be in Deadpool and Wolverine. This was.
I'm still not buying it.
Yeah, poor Spider-Brando's in denial.
I am in denial.
Yeah, hard.
Andrew Garfield said he wasn't going to be in it. Toby said he wasn't going to be in it.
That's different, man. That's different.
Yeah, they're still in it. They were still in it.
That's different.
I ain't believing it until July 25th at like 11 p.m. when I'm done with that movie.
The thing is, though, the Andrew and Toby stuff, it kind of was like, this will make or break the movie. Taylor Swift not being in here will not make or break the movie. Because even if she wasn't in it, she will be in it for...
It will.
No, it won't. She'll be in it for literally a scene, and then that's it.
You know how crazy Swifties are?
Yes, I know how crazy Swifties are, but she will be in it for one scene.
This probably just ruined the whole box. This ruined a whole chunk of the box office for Swifties
less than a bill.
That were planning on going to see it just based on the rumors.
No.
2016
it's not making costume. A bill anymore. I'm saying it now. If she's not in it, it's not making a bill.
Wow. You know what's not making $1 billion? Wonder Man, because it's going to be 10 episodes long. It's a Disney Plus series.
Smoothest transition in the game.
Right.
I don't even have a banner for that.
Well, there you go. That's how invested we are in Wonder Man. The next big one though, that is an actual bigger piece of news. I think this came out yesterday, last night, one of the two. The Vision series, we got some details. In the show, White Vision has a desire to have a paternal bond that the Vision from WandaVision had. So he creates his family, Virginia, Vin, and Viv. And the series will directly tie into Young Avengers. And the other big thing, this series is going to lay basically the groundwork or the makings of the return of Ultron.
It's a lot to unpack. I got to
a
sort
lot.
through a lot of feelings for that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to work backwards real quick for this because when we first saw White Vision back in WandaVision, there were tons of theories and rumors and like Ultron's back. Like I remember Ultron is back. It makes sense. Here we go. We're going to get another subvillain in the MCU. Ultron's going to be done right. Great. And then we didn't. But now we might. But then in WandaVision, you got like Billy and Tommy, and then we got the carryover into Multiverse of Madness. And like, there's that part of White Vision where I'm like, I don't care that you have Virginia, Vin, and Viv. Bastion would be proud from X-Men 97, but I just... Is that what we want to lead into Young Avengers? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Ultron, cool. White Vision and his family tying into Young Avengers. I don't know. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Yeah. I feel like Ultron being the villain for this series still fits well. However you spin the story, I think inserting him having that more personal beef with Ultron or Vision, because it's a plot point from Age of Ultron, really.
Right.
So it's kind of like a continuation. But it's just weird to me, the family aspect, because it just seems like we're doing WandaVision again.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not like super into it. I know that this is a comic book run that a lot of people like. So I'm not saying it can't be done right. It could. I just feel like without knowing much more about it, especially the details surrounding it, it just seems like we're rehashing WandaVision.
But how long is Paul Bettany going to keep doing the Vision thing? You know, it's like this story has to lead somewhere. So either White or Vision doesn't make it out of this, and Ultron does, and so do the kids. But then, like, why do we not have Billy and Tommy going into the Young Avengers? Like, do we really need these three? This feels like This feels like Love and Thunder to me in a series where I'm just like, is this necessary? Like, it's an OG character. Like, move on. Either like, truthfully, like, GG's night, or do something like massive without spawning more torch-bearing characters that are going to go to the abyss.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a massive event, but then the other weird curveball is the Young Avengers stuff.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure typically no one in the Vision family is in Young Avengers, from what I know of. Yeah, so it's like, what do you mean? How are you bringing back Ultron, who was an Avengers level threat, and bringing back and still tying this somehow into Young Avengers? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. When you just hear it like this with no context, obviously, but
yeah,
it just feels weird. Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
No. Listen, last thing that I have on this in Spider-Man, maybe you have something else, but like, this is another example of, we don't hear it from actual Marvel people, but the rumor mill is pretty spot on more times than not when it comes to the MCU. And like, when is the quality control and the full story going to come into light? This is going to be another thing that carries us on for months. On the road to what? That's the thing. On the road to what? The Young Avengers is just another ladder to get to what? Secret Wars? Probably not what I want to see. So interesting. I'll definitely need. I'm not totally throwing this out personally. I think it'll definitely be something that we talk about a lot because I think there's some fun characters associated. But man, this does feel like kind of a road to nowhere, and you got to turn around. And you're like, what did we just do?
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It just feels weird. Unless if they somehow. Then even if they do bring Ultron back, where does Ultron will wipe the floor with the Young Avengers? I hate to say it, but you
Bro,
like
Kate Bishop getting that arrow to the eye. Are you kidding me? I mean, we've seen it.
poss-
Oh wait, what if already did the Hawkeye versus Ultron type of thing? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
know?
so
Rinse and repeat, man.
I don't know.
MCU.
It just feels weird.
Yeah. It doesn't feel good.
I know I'm spending too much time, but do you guys feel like this is too close to What If season 1 if they do Vision and Ultron again?
No.
Okay.
Because I think oh god, what was it? What's this version of Ultron's name from What If? Multiverse Ultron? Whatever that
Infinity
version.
Ultron?
Yeah, Infinity Ultron, there you go. I feel like Infinity Ultron's a very different thing.
Okay.
And this will be a Vision versus Ultron thing if they go down that route. So we'll see.
Thanos is definitely coming back. Sorry. Continue.
Oh no. Not in Blade. That's for sure. Blade has parted ways with its second director, and it found its sixth writer. And I think I don't remember his name, but it is the person who wrote Thor Ragnarok and actually just finished writing Fantastic Four. So honestly, guys, this kind of gives me one of two vibes, right? To add more context, apparently the Marvel parted ways with this director a while ago. They just didn't. It wasn't known until now, and it was amicable. And it seems like according to sources, they're trying to get the feel right of Blade. So one of two things: Blade is in big trouble because this is the 10th, 15th time we've heard something negative associated with Blade. So either one, this movie is just not going to work, and at Marvel, nobody knows what they want to do with it. Or two, they have finally nailed down a feel that they are going for, and this movie's going to get delayed again.
Oh man. This really tells me, when you hear all these like mystical stories that are coming out in that like part of the universe, there really is no plan. There's no plan, and it feels like they're flying by the seat of their pants. And I think whoever does ultimately land with Blade, you better believe that they're going to be rumored to be tapped for more stories that fall into this universe or this part of the MCU. But I just don't understand how hard it is to get. Like, Blade is not some like insanely out there. Just do Twilight again or some crap. I don't know. Like, you have foundational things in literally 3 Blade movies before. I don't get what's so hard about this. I really don't.
It's not, because you literally just have to copy the old Blades, or if you want to go from something more modern, just do John Wick with vampires.
Legit.
That's all you gotta do. Like that's literally all you have to do for this movie. This doesn't need some crazy complex story.
It feels like they're trying to go for that crazy complex story to kick off like Midnight Suns and the Eternals post-credit scene, and they just can't find. It seems like they just keep finding directors that want to like excel in a Blade solo film, but don't want to deal with the expansion or, like you said, of wanting to work on a bunch of different projects.
Here's my
Good point.
question on this real quick though. Why is this not a special presentation or a spotlight or a 3-part? Like this is literally a Disney Plus thing written all over. Why are we making this a movie?
It kind of goes back to that if you watched the video that these two awesome gentlemen did on a couple live streams ago about Marvel Studios and its weird branding. This is your perfect opportunity to use it as one. But they don't.
Yeah, like 45 minutes. I just introduced the character, let him storm a castle, slice some people up, hurt some bad guys, you know what I mean? And like move on into the Midnight Suns. Like that's it. Like no one wants Blade to be anything more than just a badass character that is just slicing and dicing characters. Like I don't need to sit here and be like, this is thought-provoking. Thank you, Blade. I really needed this today. No.
Well, look at how much it worked, how well it worked for Werewolf by Night.
Right.
I think if you took Werewolf by Night and you made it into a movie, biggest box office bomb. Like one of the bigger box office bombs for Marvel. But it succeeded because it's 45 minutes?
Yeah.
It's straight to the point. It's good, fun action. And that's it. You come in, you come out, you learned a few new characters, you see what they're about. Blade can easily be that. And if it's all action Blade, because that's what Blade really just needs to be, just all action and style and swag. I mean, you can achieve that in 45 minutes and still connect it to the greater universe and have just Moon Knight show up or Werewolf by Night or whoever.
Wong shows up at the end.
Yeah, Wong shows up. And he's like, I need you.
Bro, like
Cook.
I need you and have my man's boot stepping into a portal. Fine. The internet would be ablaze.
Johnny Blaze.
Literally, Midnight Sun should all be stupid. Just have 5 freaking special presentations and then a movie. I'll be fine with that. I'll watch it 1,000 times.
Numbers.
That would be great. Oh my god. Did we just made the
Spider-Man.
MCU MS Marvel Cinematic Universe Midnight Suns copyright in what 5 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah. It's I don't know. They're trying too hard for this one.
You know what else they're trying too hard for and seemed like it was filming for 5 minutes? Thunderbolts started filming in like February. No, not February. I feel
I'm
like
still waiting for
like a
Feige to
couple
tell me
months
what it is. I've
Yeah.
been thinking about it every day. I'm like, what does it mean? I just
Have we, though?
no, I'm joking. I just
I thought you were being
couldn't
serious
care.
for a second. I was like, wait, am I hearing this right?
No, of all the things the guy says, he's like, stay tuned for this one. I'm like, yo, this is not an episode of Dragon Ball Z. I will not check back next time.
Dude,
I'm out.
That so stupid though? We haven't heard from Kevin Feige in months, and then he shows up randomly at a CinemaCon, which, regardless of what that one dude commented, no one knows what CinemaCon was. Okay, and then he's like, "Hey, Thunderbolts has an asterisk."
Yeah.
The only thing that he's like, "We'll give you some information for," is a stupid title change. Get
It's
out of
dumb.
here with that.
How low key was this rapping?
I didn't even know until
Oh,
I
dude,
came in.
Florence
Our
Pugh was just
our
like, yeah, I got unfortunately have to go to Atlanta, Georgia. We're doing it. Sebastian Stan, nothing. No one is.
With how
Is this
quickly
going
they
to be
got
the
it
worst?
done, I feel like the rumors of it, like them getting trapped just like in a vault and having to turn against whatever, I feel like this is starting to be true. The movie's just gonna end with them just like dying in a vault, and pisses me off. I don't care.
I
about this
mean,
movie. Like,
look, here's the thing: if Sentry just genuinely like does kill them at the end, you will have tried something very interesting. I think you will have tried something very interesting, and I think it would work a lot better than we think. But I don't. That's probably not what's gonna have. That's not what's gonna happen.
Bro, you know Yelena's going to be the one that kills Sentry.
Yeah, and if she doesn't kill him,
with
she's
a
in it.
pistol.
Yeah, she's going to beat him in a bad green screen, looking at him longingly, and she's going to be like, I don't know, something in Russian.
We're the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we the Thunderbolts.
This is for my soccer team.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Ugh. Get this movie out of my face.
We're getting it onto or are we gonna do our deep dive real quick?
Yeah.
Real quick. Big spoiler alert for anyone who does not want to know. Some news surrounding the highly anticipated movie that is Cap 4. This is your final chance. And here we go. Marvel Studios removed the Serpent Society and added Giancarlo Esposito to the first fight sequence. His character only has 2 scenes in the movie. Not a huge name character. However, he will play a role in the MCU that is supposed to be a big role, similar to Val, and that is via My Time to Shine. Gentlemen, we talked about this last week, throwing out some heat for who he could be, and the rumors just snuffed it. Like, that was way too big brain. What are you guys doing?
I was gonna say, shame on us for not getting that video out sooner. Cause good Lord.
Sad days.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And this fits with kind of what we've been saying. And, you know, a lot of times in your theory craft, it's typically always going to be like much higher. Like, how many times do we see these movies come out and they're like, they interview the director or the writer and they're like, have you heard the news around this movie? And they're like, yeah, you guys had way better ideas than we actually had for the movie. Like, you went out there. It's just not that far. If I could knock on Marvel's door right now and they're like, hey, do you want Giancarlo Esposito to kind of just be in the movie? And then he's going to get his own MCU show. We're going to take out Seth Rollins and the Serpent Society. I'm like, Kevin, stop what you're doing. Put the Serpent Society back in there. Go watch Invincible. Watch it twice. And let's move on with the Serpent Society, not this guy. And I don't care who he is at this point. If this is true, I'd be pissed. And I don't even know if I want to go watch this movie right now because I'm upset.
You know, the crazy thing is that last week, like you said, we were throwing out all these theories. And then I think people started actually catching on who it would actually make sense for him to be. And again, spoiler, but if you're here at this point, you want to hear it as I hit my mic. Jacob Fury, Nick Fury's brother. A lot of people started throwing that out there. It makes a lot of sense. They could very well set up a new, like, evil shield type organization that could lead into a Dark Avengers, like we kind of rumored last week. It is a nice way to do it and a nice way to play into Captain America 4 if they played it right. They're not going to, though, because he only has 2 scenes now, according to insiders. So it's like, first off, and this is the bad thing that I think is going to end up coming to bite Marvel in the butt, and maybe even Giancarlo Esposito, because it's like, why did you say all these things?
Yeah.
You know, we kind of said it last week, and Spider-Man, I think you said it, that you were like, maybe he's just lying. And me in my non-believing ways was like, no, he can't be lying. He has to be telling the truth.
Swift right now.
Yeah, because I was like, no, he's good. He's good. But now he's lied, probably, more than likely. Because it's like, dude, 2 scenes isn't a huge impact on the MCU. And if you're Jacob Fury, no one cares. Because I know these insiders are like, he's going to have a huge role, similar to Val. And I'm like, bro, when's the last time anyone cared about Val's character in the MCU?
10 seconds, man. 10 seconds. I was like, damn, they're doing this whole Thunderbolts story. Like, she's going on her recruiting tour. It's going to be nuts. The Thunderbolts are going to be wild. And then Wakanda Forever comes around. And she's like, you want to drive me home? I'm like, what's going on right now?
By the way, you're arrested.
Yeah, you're going to jail. Like, you're going to try to do that to Sentry? Because I don't know how or why you're leading a team. Like, I don't understand what your purpose is anymore. but I really feel that somehow contractually, I'm making this up completely. The whole Star Wars stuff was kind of flipping over, and they're like, "Damn, we got to fulfill this contract. Go to the MCU."
Ooh. Let's hope that's not true, because that
Disney
would be,
contract, bro.
that would be genuinely bad if that's true.
It's out of left field, and it's for nothing.
It is out of left field because he wasn't on like anybody's radar to play it. I mean, he was rumored for Xavier, but then
Yeah,
that was very much like a dream thing. Like, I think people kind of gave it up in their mind that was going to happen. And then he was like, "Hey, I'm in the MCU." And we were like, "Oh, really?"
Damn,
And he was like, "Yeah, I am." And then he was like, "I'm not going to tell you who." And then we were like, "Oh, are you in Fantastic Four?" And he was like, "Maybe." And they were like, "Oh, man." And then on a random Tuesday, he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. I'm a villain." And we're like, "Oh, you are?" And he's like, "Yeah. By the way, I'm brand new." And it's like, "Oh, wait, what?" And he's like, "Yeah. I'm also going to get my own series." And we're like, "Huh? What do you mean?" Then he's like, "Don't worry about it." And then he just shows up in Cap 4.
bro, in costume on set. Like, what the hell?
Everybody's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, and then he's dead quiet. He doesn't say anything else. He hasn't said jack since these leaks came out.
Bro. And the worst part is like, I know people were excited when they saw it. They're like, "Oh, he was on set," and I was like, "Damn, what is he wearing? Like, is he in a cut? Like, my guy's in some like military fit," and I'm like, "That's not a
this?
scientist." Yeah, like, it's like, who are you?
And then that's the thing, like, everybody, because I mean, I think we had a very good, like, we had a fun theory session last week on this, but everybody that we kind of said, we were like, as cool as it is, it makes no sense. Because even people who were like, "Oh, Blade," it's like, Blade, what? What are you talking about? And then they were like, ones that kind of made sense were Bushman from Moon Knight, but then it was like, why is Bushman randomly going to show up in Captain America 4? It makes no sense.
Yeah, but
And then
people
we're like, yeah, but that's it. Like, we really don't know who else.
But Wong doesn't make sense.
Oh.
The one thing that I have hope for
Oh, bring us back. Okay.
is Giancarlo picks his roles pretty well. So Marvel had to have promised something extremely enticing for this character to make
A
him
butt
sign
ton of
on.
money.
But I don't know. I feel like even with a butt ton of money, he could go like anywhere else. And
Okay.
he always picks like impactful roles, like from Gus and Breaking Bad. I forgot his name right now, but
Moff Gideon?
Yeah.
Moff Gideon. No, yeah, I knew Moff Gideon. What's his character in The Boys? Why am I trying to think of that?
What the hell?
I don't know, but he was like the CEO of all, and
Yeah.
always picks some like very impactful characters. So this got me. That's the only hope I have for it. But after these leaks and rumors and the set photos, like I don't know. One thing I think of is maybe like a head of Department of Damage Control or something that could maybe tie into like controlling Sentry and Thunderbolts. Or
You're aiming too high.
I know. I was getting there. I was getting there.
Bring it back down.
If okay,
good of an idea.
Would you guys feel better if Secret Invasion didn't happen and we knew that Giancarlo Esposito would show up here, have a couple scenes, bounce, go to the Disney Plus, and get his own show? Would you feel better about it if we didn't see a Fury-focused MCU show that had too much budget and not enough payoff?
Just a little bit.
That's my reservation. Grounded characters right now, I do not want to see.
My thing is though, like, as much as like Secret Invasion got us hype. I think even initially, the big question was why, you know? And I think we still had that question even before, like we had a trailer and story details. We're kind of like, why is this more grounded and Nick Fury centered? So I don't think it would have mattered either way, because I think if he just randomly shows up in another Disney Plus series alongside Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury, we would still be like, why are you here?
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Fair point. 250 mil total.
It's crazy to think that
175.
movie was coming out. That show was coming out like a year ago, right around this time.
And we
I'm
were
just-
excited.
Hell yeah, dude! February is a killer. Like, if your movie's coming out in February, it's gonna suck.
This movie,
Like, hey, babe, let's go see another movie. She's like, you told. Wait. I'm gonna stop you right there because you said that last year, and you took me to Madam Web. We're not doing it again this year. We're done.
and then the year before that, you took me to Quantum Mania. Like February and your movies.
What?
I think the last good movie that came out in February was Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I remember that came out in like February, March time, and then I remember it specifically came out like right before COVID of 2020, and I feel like that was the last good movie.
I believe you.
Since. Oh, it's so good.
The
Sonic
last
3 trailer, please.
The last good February movie besides that was Black Panther.
Oh,
yeah. Damn. My
yeah,
disrespect. Ooh. It's disrespectful on my part. Damn, BP. Oh, take me back. Take me back.
What a time. What a time.
I had such a hard time. We had a fire alarm go off during opening day of Black Panther, like during the daytime of that Friday.
Bro. Take me.
Dude, the amount of complaints I had to deal with trying to get people outside and just like sitting outside. They're like, "Oh, let me back in." I'm like, "Dude, I can't." Like, it's just I'd get fired.
Bro, that fire could go like row A, B, C, and I'm sitting in F, and I'd be like, "The movie's not done." I was like, "You can come back later." I'm not moving though.
It was just a stupid fire drill too that like the fire department had to do an inspection for. I'm like, why can't they do this at like night when we're closed? It made no sense.
I'd be pissed if I found out it was a fire drill.
Yeah,
I'd be so mad
too. So many people had to get refund, like randomly or ask for refunds.
Oh hell yeah!
I would have
refund, but I still wanted to watch the rest of the movie. But you know,
oh yeah, I fully understand it. Everyone's asking me like what was going on in the movie that they missed. Like I saw it already. I was like, dude, I just work here. Like I'm seeing it tonight. Like
you get infinite knowledge. You guys don't load up on movies before you gotta like jack in before you start your shift.
Sometimes we would have like there were some premieres where we would get like on a Wednesday night of like a special employee screening just to like kind of get the know. But it didn't happen too often.
Fair point. Do we want to do our last deep dive?
We can.
SB, do you want to take it?
Let me just full screen this video real quick. So our final deep dive is from a quote and clip in an interview that Cinema Bulletin did with Anthony Starr. And a preliminary quote from it says, "Fans are hungry and not fatigued for fresh superhero content." So with that being said, I will share the clip.
I'm very curious to see what happens around any notion of superhero fatigue when James Gunn's superhero things come out, because I don't think the audience is fatigued. Let me put it that way. I think the audience is hungry. We were just down in Mexico doing a CCXP down there,
I love it.
and they are hungry as hell for superhero content. So I think it's easy to start saying is there superhero fatigue or whatever. I think people just want fresh story and fresh ideas and fresh storytelling. And because of the nature of our show being an inverted universe, we're not slaves to the same masters. We're not bound to the same moral true north that standard superhero things are. So we have no boundaries. I'm very curious to see what happens.
So, what do you guys feel about that clip? Do you think he's right on there being no superhero fatigue?
I'll default to hero.
That's a simple statement. I don't think anyone could have said it better. If you've been listening to Point 3 for a while, if you're new here, we've been saying the same thing for over a year, since the inception of Point 3, that people just want good content, fresh stuff. And I think more and more of these superhero actors are starting to realize, and not realize, but having the opportunities to say it, right? Anthony Starr saying it with this. Chris Hemsworth kind of saying it in that one interview that came out last month, defending Thor and everything in between, and what he wants to do, and how he says that, you know, what he feels like people would like. There's a space for it. And I mean, if you look at just this live stream alone, the things that have made us truly excited, things like Midnight Suns and everything else, it's not superhero fatigue because these are all superheroes, but it's fresh takes on it. Booster Gold, like I said, Midnight Suns, a good Thunderbolts movie, a good Cap 4 movie, Hulk and the Red Hulk that are actually fun to see. We just want these things. And I think we've used the analogy before. It's kind of in that same realm of when you eat too much of one thing, you don't necessarily stop eating that altogether. You just want a break from it. Like if you eat too many salty things, sometimes you want something that's a little sweet. Or sometimes instead of eating the same salty thing, you want it in a different way. This is superhero media. We don't really get tired of it. We just want it a little differently. We want it to be presented to us a little differently or have a different flair to it. And I think Anthony Starr just confirmed that for a lot of people finally.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love how he started that. And I really, really, really like that he did mention, you know, what James Gunn does with the DCU, because again, this is what we've been saying on here is right now, the MCU for a lot of people is the only game in town. And there are a lot of people, for one reason or another, who have not jumped onto one of two things: The Boys or animated superhero. And we've said time and time again, right? Loki season 2 finale, the very next day, go see the Marvels. Not fatigued. I literally can stay up all night and watch that epic scene over and over again, and then go the very next day to watch a movie. X-Men 97. Before live streams, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys and talking with you guys, but I for dang sure want to make sure that I watch that episode of X-Men 97. And I think one of the most important things, again, that is going to come down the pipeline, and we are just about a year away from it, competition. The DCU is going to be fresh. So now we have, just like you guys were mentioning, you want something in between, right? You want to take that sip of water in between those pretzel bites. Get your sip of water. Watch some DCU. Go back to the MCU. Compare the two of them. The next thing that comes out is going to feel different by default, because what you just got off of was different in nature. Your Max shows are going to be great balance for your Disney Plus shows. Your Prime shows are going to be a nice curveball. Your animateds, again, this go back and listen to Golden Age of Superhero. Go back and watch that video, because we targeted a nice few years, all the way back from 2000 to really 2019, 2016 to 19, phase 3, MCU. What did it look like? Logan, Deadpool. It wasn't just the MCU that was popping off during that time. There's a lot of great movies that you can see surrounding superheroes, but are we getting back to that? And for a lot of people, it's like, it's dead. No, it's like that phoenix rising through the ashes for a lot of people. But are there really ashes there? No, not really. It's just going to look and feel different, and it's going to change perception. And when you change the perception, that's going to make the world of difference. So I love this video. I'm glad we showed it. I'm glad that someone with the star power like Anthony Starr went out there and said, like, it's BS. Like, I'm literally living it daily. Like, it's junk. Just give him something good. That's what I strive to do, and he succeeded at that for 4+ seasons as Homelander, being like we were talking about with the Peacemaker. Homelander is a household name and a standalone character all on his own, and he's iconic.
And for those that are saying this doesn't apply to the MCU, I just want you to think back to Shang-Chi, X-Men 97, Loki season 2. The MCU is not dead. It just needs
Guardians
to be
3.
Guardians
Yeah.
3. Just needs to be presented differently. You look at Shang-Chi, it's no different from an Iron Man 1, a Doctor Strange. It's a very much an origin movie, yet we really like it. Why? Because it's presented differently. It's presented as basically a kung fu superhero film, and we liked it. It's presented differently. Loki, same thing. You know, very MCU-ified, but it was a time. You know, I guess kind of what Doctor Who-ish is the best kind of comparison I can give you. And for as much as people didn't like it at first, people are starting to realize there was something with Eternals. It was presented a little differently. It wasn't for everybody, but you know what? When looking back and not having as much negative feedback in your ear right there telling you, no, this movie sucks, from people that haven't even really seen it, people are like, no, you know what? This movie's actually like pretty good. It's not, superhero fatigue isn't a thing.
No. What one last thing, and Spider Brandon, you might have some thoughts on this. I think for a lot of people, because the MCU kind of monopolized theaters for a little bit, and over the last 3 years, it's kind of been the face of superhero content, and people I think are upset, right? And they're walking away, and all the things that we've talked about are done or literally said in this last hour plus. But the thing that I think that we'll see will be the positive that will come from people recognizing there is no fatigue or feeling that it's back or whatever narrative people want to add to this in the next, 2-3 years. It's going to again attract creative minds to these projects again, who have kind of been pushed away over the last few years, like an Eternals and a Chloe Zhao, where it's like, I did something unique and different, and you guys are like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. These people are like, I'm not going to have that blemish on my IMDb or my resume, or have this be something that people look at me and like, well, you tried it and it sucked, so you probably shouldn't do it again. No, it was pretty good. There will just be a really good connotation and a positive light that's put on new, creative, different projects like a Booster Gold, like a DCU. The DCU is super important. I'm sorry. We're going to triple down on it, quadruple down. The DCU is going to be extremely important to the perception of the superhero community, the superhero genre, and really the future of all of them. If it doesn't feel different, you're going to get this exact thing. Fans are hungry for fresh superhero content. If it doesn't feel fresh, then here we go. It's going to be, the bad version of a June Geddon.
We just want good stories, like you guys both said. I had kind of went on a Twitter spree after this with a quote of, "We are not fatigued. We just want good stories and to know what the bleep is going on." It started to get me think that Gunn's out there debunking the rumors left and right in the DCU. Yeah, Marvel and Feige are letting all of these rumors that we just so happen to talk about today, might not even be true or not, just live on. And I feel like that hurts a lot of where this fatigue comes in from, because we're just tired of not knowing what the direction should be, especially when we got all these other different types of projects going on. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I don't think we're fatigued, just need good storytelling, fresh takes, and to not obviously be like spoon-fed what the direction of like these franchises are going, but to have less mystery, in my opinion.
Yeah. A better guide, at least to have a map. I think that just goes into more specific and more bigger problems that the MCU has. But when you clearly, especially again looking at the DCU, when you have a map of things that are coming out and a vision, and people understand that vision, people are not going to be as negative about it. I mean, if you really think about it, we don't know too much about the DCU and its other releases. But because James Gunn provided a big overview, now at this point, like over a year ago, with that big like Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters presentation, but still constantly giving small updates about what's going on, updates that are enough to keep us satisfied. People aren't mad, and people aren't, saying, I mean, there is a small minority saying that, the DCU is failing before it even started, but again, very small minority of people. And I think at the end of it, they just are people that enjoy the medium in the same way that we do. I don't think it's real. It's not real. So if you hear superhero fatigue, ignore it. It's not real. It's
no. It's a detractor to everything. And again, the only other point that I'll throw in here is like, it's a plus and a minus when you hear Booster Gold got writers, Lanterns has writers. These are the people. Guess what? They actually do like comics and they are familiar with it and they know that. And then you see a Blade and it's like Blade's running through them like candy. And you're just like, why? Right? And it starts a conversation. It's a good conversation. It's what we talk about here. Again, there are just the little things today that are different than they were in 2008. People are connected. People want information. We get information faster than ever before. Some studios adapt and lean into it. Some are ignoring it and pretending it doesn't exist, and they're still going to put out their product. And then at the end of it, wonder why fans aren't happy with it. So, again, Anthony Starr, shout out to you for throwing that out there, because you're echoing a lot of what the superhero community is talking about and faces on a daily basis on social media and in their circles.
Who would have thought that on our 2024 bingo card that Anthony Starr would be 0.3 certified? In this way, I mean, in this way. We knew he was going to be because of Homelander and everything, but I mean like Anthony Starr as Anthony Starr and not Homelander.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have guessed that.
Oh, what's the actor's name for Butcher? I can't think of it.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I know. I keep saying all I can picture in my head is Huey. Obviously, that's not his name. And yes, I do have a keyboard in front of me. I could look it up, but there's no fun in that, right?
Looking it up. Carl Urban.
Carl. Dang, man. Johnny Cage. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Their interviews together talking about this space and the superhero world is like, dude, Anthony Starr spits some fire when it comes to this. Like, it's legit.
Yeah. Gold.
Yeah.
Well, that's our live stream for tonight, guys. Great live stream. If you're watching this live, thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you're watching this later on, we also appreciate you too. Either way, if you're new or not, make sure you're subscribed to us. That goes a long way for us here. And if you hit that like button, that also goes a long way. But again, this Friday, June 14th through the 16th, we're going to be at Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. So any of you watching later, if you're going to be there, say hello. If not, we will still be at least making a vlog and a kind of a breakdown next week about our trip and how it goes. So stay tuned for that. But everybody, if you a couple things you need to do before we sign off and say the other 3 things that you need to do, like I said, subscribe and make sure you are on our Discord for our movie nights. We got Deadpool 1 and 2 double feature, and then we got Logan later on. So you definitely want to be there for that. But 3 things: you need to keep watching, you need to keep reading, and you need to keep nerding out. We will see you next week on our Wednesday live stream.